Altis, 167 miles of grueling victories and devastating defeats. Desperation and hope. Darkness and wonder. And you have been dropped right in the middle of it all. Welcome to Exile.
When I was young, my daddy said, gotta keep one eye open in your bed, 'cause there's a time coming when the devil gonna come for you. So my trigger finger, stay prepared. I've got my weapon and I got my prayers, 'cause if you don't run this town, they'll walk all over you. Run out loud, gotta run on. Keep on running till the sun goes down. Run out loud, better run on. Run all day till you can't be found. Run out loud, gotta run on. Keep on running till the sun goes down. You can outrun the devil, but you ain't gonna outrun me. You ain't gonna outrun me. You ain't gonna, you ain't gonna outrun me.
Hello, and welcome back. So, you have a weapon, a vehicle, and now you want to do a mission. So where do we start? Well, two things are key. One is recon, and the other is position. You should remember these two things like a mantra. The first is reconnaissance. Always check the mission before you attempt it. Some missions can be random with the amount of AI, so keep that in mind. Some may have armor, so you don't want to be running into a mission and then finding a tank and you just don't have any ATs, so that wouldn't be good. Doing recon will help you learn the missions, so at least you will have some idea of what you're up against in the future. And the second is position. Once you've found the mission that you can handle, and finding a good position is vital. High elevation, good cover goes without saying, but you also need to make sure you have an exit plan if things get too close to comfort. Once you've picked your mission, now you have to claim it. Now, different servers will have different rules for claiming a mission, but the majority follow a standard set of rules. A reminder, again, always read the rules. Double check if you have to. For the OGG servers, for example, you have to be within 2,000 meters of the mission to claim it. And then you have to just mark the map with your name. Now to do this, just open your map, press M, find the mission. Now obviously I am not 2,000 meters away, but I'm just using an example. Double click the map anywhere by the mission. And this brings up this handle thing. So, and then you put your name. I'll put anything. Make sure it's selected to side channel so everybody can see it. If it's on group or vehicle, nobody else will be able to see it apart from you or anybody in your group. Press OK. And that's it. Now, it isn't necessary on the OGG servers, but it's also a nice touch if you put it inside chat as well, just to make sure that everybody knows what's going on, because not everybody always pays attention to what's happening on the map, more often than not. So to do that, to open the chat, you just press /. Now you can change the channels on these with the sort of arrow keys right next to it. So there, group channel, vehicle channel, direct, and side. So make sure it's on side, and just put claim black. Look, There you go. And then press enter, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Okay, a little side note here. When you are claiming your missions, you can actually change the color of the marker that you use. You can also change the type of marker that you use. Now to do so, go to the top of the screen here, and we have two drop-down menus. First changes the color. You can use any color you want. And the second is the marker type. Again, use any one you want. The circle will basically center on the player. So if you lose your player somewhere on the map and you can't find him on there, just click that, it'll just focus right on you. The second is the elevation of hills and mountains around you. So you click on that and it shows you like that. Okay. Now with the recon comes threat assessment and what to hit first. Armored vehicles, if there are any, would be the first on my list, in my opinion, to hit, as they had some heavy firepower and they are mobile, so they are the biggest threat. Tracked vehicles such as the BTRK Kamesh, for example, they will need an AT rocket to take them down. And the further away you can fire that, the better. It is possible to shoot out some of the crew using a sniper rifle like the GM6 Lynx, using APDS rounds. However, it will take some time on a mission, and time is not on your side. Other wheeled vehicles such as off-road technicals, Gorgons, Marshals can be taken out with a sniper rifle. Taking out the tyres will force the actual crew to abandon the vehicle. After the vehicles, take out the static machine guns, and then you should move on to another new position, as the ground troops will know where you're firing from and they will push you. Once in a new position, you can just start to pick off the troops. Okay, a quick tip here. If you are having trouble seeing the AI because of the grass and everything else, probably your settings may be a little bit high. However, you can actually get around this by actually removing the grass completely, so you'll be able to see who's crawling around. Now to do this, you press 6 to go into your XM8, you go to view distance, and as you see, on foot and terrain here is set to high. If I put that to low, boom, there it goes. All the grass has now disappeared. So now you can actually see where everybody is. Nice little tip, most people forget it. Also, as a little bonus, it will actually save you some frames as well. So, okay, there you go. Now, another thing to keep in mind, there's also an unwritten rule, and that is never start a mission when you only have 30 minutes left before server restart. Even if the mission is small, it only takes one lucky aimbot shot to take you out, and then depending on where your closest spawn point is, you could lose time trying to get back to your body. And if the server restarts before you get back to your body, you will lose everything on it. So, in my opinion, sometimes it's just not worth the risk. And quickly on the subject of time in server restarts, don't forget to get out of the server before the 10-minute warning. Now, most servers will roll back around about a minute after the restart. So, for example, if you were driving and the server restarts, when you log back in after you've been kicked out, you will find yourself on the road and your vehicle will be back to where you first got into it. And that could be a few miles away behind you. So get out before the 10-minute warning. Okay, so a quick tutorial on the Titan rocket launcher. This will also apply to other launchers such as javelins and other guided weapons like that. They all pretty much work the same way. So first we need to equip it, so we press 3. I like to check whether or not it's actually loaded sometimes, so I'll press R to reload, and we're good. So right click on the mouse. We're looking around for targets. Yep, we've got a few targets here. So a few things to keep in mind here, and that is the rocket systems actually and the targeting systems work on infrared. So what that actually means is that the vehicle has to have its engine running for a while or just be running around. So for example, here I press T and I get a lock. If I go up here, say this one, this has been sitting for a while, trying to press T and nothing happens because his engine's cold. So also you have the option of thermal vision, so you press N and you'll get versions of thermal. If you look on the right hand screen side there, you have top and DIR. So DIR is direct firing, so it'll just fire in the direction that you're looking. Now this actually works in the same way as a wire guided missile as well, so you can actually move the missile while it's in flight just by moving the mouse. If you press F, you'll swap it to top, and that's top down mode, so the missile will fire straight up and hit the top of the vehicle where the armor is weakest. So first of all, we'll try to get this one, so press T and we fire. Boom. There we go. Once all opposition is dealt with, you can go down and loot what you can. Of course, the loot boxes go into a vehicle, not on the vehicle. If you have a vehicle, just drive up to the loot box, stand next to the box and scroll with your mouse wheel and select load, and that should load the box into the vehicle. If you need to move the box around, then scroll and select take, and that will allow you to move it around. And when you've finished, you want to select drop and it will just drop it. Now there are many schools of thought on what to loot from the bodies. Some will just take the guns, others will take everything even down to the uniforms, and some will just take the box and just leave everything else. In my opinion, I just grab the guns, sniper rifles and MGs as they're the most expensive, and the instocks as well as any tabs, and of course the loot box. I want to be in and out as quickly as I can. If there are any vehicles and you do have a vehicle with you, you can just tow them together. Of course, in a perfect world, we could just call down an orbital strike and be done with it.
Nice.
Okay, moving on. Okay, so what do we do first? Well, first of all, we need to buy a flagpole. And a flagpole is needed to claim an area. So the only place you can buy it is at the main trader at the airport here. So right here. Okay. So let's go in. And the office is right behind the food vendor here, so yep. Go upstairs. There we go. So scroll, and what you want is purchase territory. That costs you, for a basic flag, will cost you 5 grand. So press purchase. Yep. And now you will find a territory kit. Once you get your base down and you have a few extra credits, you might want to expand the base a little bit. So if you want to do that, you come back up to the office traders here, and then you select upgrade territory. There's a drop down menu at the top where you can select your base's name, and then you click upgrade, and that's about it. So every level you go up, it will expand the base as well as the item count. Now the item count includes anything that you put down, such as walls, buildings, etc. Now if you want to know how many items you have per level, press 6 on the XM8, go to more, server info, and other info. And that will give you the list of everything from level 1 down to level 12. So once you've got your flag and you found an area you want to put a base on, first thing you might want to consider is how big your base is going to eventually be. If you want to extend it once you put the flag down, will you have enough room? So for example, if I plant it here and I try and upgrade it, it might end up halfway out there. So you're going to lose a big chunk of territory unless you can use boats all the time. But for now, we'll just go through the basics. So try and figure out the center point for your base. I'm going to put it right by. Go into your inventory, press I. Find the territory flag and double click it. Click construct and select any flag you want and give it a name. There you go, and set up. Now you can put this flag pretty much anywhere, but like I said, this is going to be the center point of your base, so make sure you have space in general. So once you find a spot, press space, and that's it. Now, as per some rules on certain servers, you need to leave this accessible by the admins. So putting it inside rocks, inside buildings where nobody can get hold of it is usually a very bad idea. Now, if you want to know how wide the actual base is going to be right now, press 6, click territory, and select your base. And now click radius and show. And this will show you how big the radius is right now. Now this is just a basic level 1 or 2 level base, so obviously you haven't got a lot of space. But you can put some containers here, some safes, whatever. Anything you can store stuff in for now, until you can extend the base a bit more. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need for a basic base would be wood to make walls, floors, etc. And obviously we can get that from trees, but you need an axe to obviously cut down the trees to get the wood. Now there's a couple of ways of finding an axe. Obviously you can find them in places like factories or any industrial building. Usually they'll spawn at least something like that. Other than that, look for gear crates. They will guarantee to have at least one axe within the box. But they are usually guarded, so just keep that in mind. So, we go up to the tree. We get our axe up, press 3. And we just wear it on the tree. and the logs should actually appear at your feet. So there you go. Let's take all. There you go. Right. So the first thing you need to build is a workbench. Now, there are two ways of doing this. You can either A, go for the XM8, click more, click recipes, go down to construction, and it should be on the list down here somewhere. There it is, craft workbench. And you can hit craft, and it'll make you a workbench. Now, another way of doing it, and this goes for most things as well. If you have items, crafting items, go into your inventory, find the woods, double click on them, and you can click recipes at the top here, and that will show you everything that specific item you can build from. So piers, shooting battery, you know, obviously some of these things need other things as well, but we want just a workbench. So double click. There's a drop down menu here. I have to say how many you want to build. So obviously you only want one. And click craft. And there we are. We have a workbench. So let's go back over to the base. Find the spot where you want to build. Click I. Find the workbench. Double click, construct, and you can put this pretty much anywhere you like. Now this building system, or at least the placing system, is pretty much the same for most items that you're going to use. So I put it right by there, and I put space, and there you go. And now you can build stuff. Another thing you probably need would be a fire. So the same thing goes, you can either go through the XM8 crafting menu, or you can just go through your inventory. Go recipes again, craft fireplace, double click on it, craft. Go find it again, there it is, construct. That's a bit too much into the ground for me, so page up. Too high, so control and page down, make it shorter. There you go, right there. And now you have a fire. Obviously you need a box of matches to light the fire, so there we go. Okay, so to build a wooden wall for basics, we stand close or just next to the workbench here, and we press I. Now we need to take our logs and we need to cut them down to make wooden planks. So for that you will need a handsaw, which I believe you can actually buy from the trader, or you can find them. So again, double click on the log, click recipes, craft wooden plank, and as many as you can. So 4 I'll do, and craft. That's it. So you take those wooden planks, you do exactly the same thing again, recipes, and you select what items you want to craft. Let's try a wooden wall, and click craft. Yeah. Now find a spot. Obviously you might want to put down the floor, actually, that'd be a good idea. I actually have some floors here already. Somewhere. There you go. So, I'll take the floor. Floors aren't generally necessary if you don't really need to, but it does make things a little easier at the end of the day. So that's a little bit too high, so we'll click down page 1. Now as you can see from that left hand corner, the ground isn't completely flat, so it tends to poke through, but it might not matter. So, right there. There we go. Press space, and we set it down. Let's get the other one. Now, again, two ways you can do this. You can either try and line it up yourself as best you can. And that's not too bad, to be honest. Or you can use snap mode. Now, if you look on the right hand side, you see all the list of all the things you can do. If you press 3, you are now in snap mode. Now you can see that arrow just pointing there. Back up a bit and look down at the item you want to snap the new item to, and you press space. Move forward and it snaps. Done. This is not always 100% all the time. It does vary. It also varies because of the angle of the ground. Like I said, if you can find somewhere flat, more the better. Now let's put the wall down. Double click, construct. Again, you can either try and do it yourself or you can use snap mode. So let's use snap. Press 3. Now, where do I want it? Well, there or there? Point at the arrow and press space. Now you can still adjust it slightly by putting it up and down, but eventually the snap mode will pull things together. So press space again, and now you have a wooden wall. So that's not so bad. And you do that for the rest of it. Want something a bit more substantial, say concrete walls, because obviously that a wooden wall isn't really bulletproof. Well, as I've stated before, there are areas on the map where they will have a concrete mixer already set up, but they won't have things like water, which is another element you need to make them. And as I stated before, it's usually better just to try and make them yourself and have them at your base. So this is the concrete mixer here. That's what you need. That's basically what you need to make concrete walls, and a lot of other things that involve that. To make them and craft them, you'll need a portable generator. So just double click on that. Recipes, concrete mixer. And that will tell you everything you need to craft a concrete mixer. Okay, so you build a crab shack, and now you need to secure it. So what you need to do is get a code lock, which you can find from loot crates, gear crates, and in some cases some servers will actually sell them in traders as well, so they're not too hard to find. So just make sure you have it on you. It's right here. So close the door and add lock. Give it a number, one you can remember, and that's it. It's locked. Now nobody else can get in except for you or whoever you get the pin to. As a reminder, don't give the pin to anybody else that you don't know, unless you want your base to disappear and all your gear to be sold. Don't do that. So unlock it. Scroll and select that and just put your number in. And it's open. Now, obviously looking a bit bare, but I'll leave that to you. Now, let's talk storage. There are many options for storage at the moment. So everything from just a box to a safe to cargo containers and this monstrosity. In my opinion, if you're just starting out, you can just find a crate from a gear crate like this. Pick it up. By the way, if you're carrying a crate and you seem to be walking, that's because you are. You can just press 0 and it'll make you run. So, a lot quicker. So find a spot for this, preferably away from the window. Drop it. And select install. And now that crate is now part of your base. So that's a bit of storage for you. Now the other storage, like these, I would strongly recommend at some point you either get a safe or you craft one of these containers. I would say craft this one here. And they can all be locked. They don't need code locks at all. They already have locks already installed. So to do that, you unlock it. Now the default code for any container that has a lock on it is 0000. See? There you go. Now to set a new code, you go to set pin, enter the old code, which was 0000, and then put in a new code. And there we are, done. Now personally, which one would I choose out of the slot? These are a bit more expensive. The sand containers here, sand color containers, are relatively cheap to make. They only take like scrap metal more than anything else. And they can hold quite a lot. But of course you can also go for the classic safe if you want. So there you have the basic startings of a base. The rest of it is really up to you how you want to build it. Good luck. Alright, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to use the Virtual Garage or Exile. Every base will come with Virtual Garage. You can put a fair number of vehicles in, even at a low level. Depending on the level of your base, the more vehicles you can put into it. I won't go into how many, it's irrelevant right now. So, what you do, you will press 6 to go in XM8. Then you click on Virtual Garage. Up here to Store Vehicle. Select a vehicle. And give it a nickname. And the nickname can be anything you want. Anything you like. So I'm just going to go like that. And click Store. And it's gone. There you go. Now, to get it back out again, it's the reverse. So press 6, select Virtual, select Retrieve Vehicle, which is right here, select it, and click Retrieve. And it's back. Now, there we go. Very, very simple. Some things to keep in mind here though. You always want to try and keep the area where it lands as flat as possible on flat ground and in an open area if you can. So keep in mind of that. Also, wherever you store your vehicle is where it's going to be spawned back out again. So if I store it here, it's going to respawn exactly here again. Okay, so it stores and retrieves in the same spot. So make sure there's nothing in the way when you try and spawn something back in. As you can see where I put these barriers here, this just to show it actually goes back exactly where the same place where you stored it. Okay. Also, you don't want to be storing vehicles inside buildings like hangars or anything like that, because whenever a vehicle spawns, it will spawn a little bit off the ground and then bounce back down again. So out in the open, always in an open area and as flat as possible, you want the ground. Okay, and that's about it.